So let's go ahead and start with Prince Keleseth.
Prince Keleseth. Keleseth?
Prince Keleseth.
Alright, so Prince Keleseth.
Alright, Prince Keleseth.
Prince Keleseth.
Prince Keleseth.
Prince Keleseth.
Prince Keleseth.
You Prince Keleseth. Keleseth? Keleseth. Whatever.
Prince Keleseth. This is Prince Keleseth. Hope none of the princes have lisps. What's wrong with you? I can't say because of what's wrong with me.
Battle cry, if your deck has no 2-cost cards, give all minions in your deck.
All minions in your deck. All minions in your deck.
+1/+1. In your deck, not in your hand, right? So minions you already drew will not get buffed.
It's a 2-mana 2/2 with a really interesting battle cry here. If your deck has no 2-cost cards, other than this one presumably, so what's left in your deck, not at the beginning of the game, give all minions in your deck +1/+1. So this is essentially another deck manipulation card like we've seen with Reno or Kazakis, where if you meet a condition with your deck...
Wait, isn't this insane in Quest Broker? Oh baby, this is like the. It's like, oh, well, Quest Broker doesn't play any 2-drops.
Like, when you think about it, if you draw this on turn 2 as a Jade Druid, that is insane. If all your Jade main bodies also are very powerful, on top of the Jades getting bigger and bigger, like your Engineer gets bigger, your Primordial Drake, it seems very busted. Another deck that I was thinking about right now, at least with the existing cards where you could play this, is the Quest Hunter, because in Quest Hunter you also don't play any 2-mana cards. You wanna fill the deck with just as many 1-drops as possible, and then this card would make sense because it buffs all your 1-drops by +1/+1.
Could maybe work with Shaman. Like, there's no super critical... No, yeah, there is. I think Maelstrom Portal and Jade Claws are very important.
If this saw any play, the places I can imagine this seeing play are maybe Zoo. Zoo doesn't have many good 2-mana minions. Direwolf Alpha is really the only minion that you're going to miss. I mean, you wouldn't be able to play... What's its face? Where is it? Fallen Sun Cleric, which could maybe play it in Zoo. But I'm definitely going to try this in Zoo, because there's definitely a place it could potentially work. If you're playing this card, you need to be playing a deck with a lot of minions, and Zoo is a deck with a lot of minions, and a lot of cheap minions as well. So definitely going to try this in Zoo. Also Quest Hunter, which is a deck that no one plays, but this could be very good in Quest Hunter. Obviously you're going to be playing a lot of 1-mana minions, and you don't need, there's no 2-drops you need to play. You can play the Hunter Quest, you can play a load of 1-mana minions. You could play something like a Crackling Razormaw, or a Hyena, but you don't need to. You could just play this instead, and instead try and take a slightly different route with Quest Hunter. Which could be quite good, actually. I feel like I would definitely, if I was trying to make Quest Hunter work, I think I would definitely just play this.
No.
I think this is a card that basically wants to go in like Quest Hunter.
No.
Because Quest Hunter wants to play a ton of 1-cost minions. So you're really getting the best value for per mana that you're getting the buff on, because any minion, no matter how big it is getting +1/+1. So if you just are playing Quest Hunter and you draw Prince Keleseth, you just have it as 1 card in your deck, and you don't have any 2-cost cards in your deck because, well, you can't with Prince Keleseth. And there aren't really that many good 2-cost cards in Hunter nowadays, by the way, anyway, that you'd want to play in Quest Hunter at least. Obviously there's things like, Scavenging Hyena or Kindly Grandmother or whatever, lots of actual 2-cost stuff, but they're not like the quick shots or Glaivezookas that I think Hunter would love to play no matter what kind of Hunter they are.
I don't recall any deck you can afford to not play 2-cost minions right now. In Priest, you mean? Priest has Radiant Elementals and Pyromancers. Handlock? No, in Handlock you want to play... what was the card? You want to play the 2-mana AoE card, for sure. I just won't see any play. There's no deck where you want to play no 2-mana creatures, not too many cards.
This is a really interesting card, but again, it seems very specific. Like, I feel like they should just make this a Warlock legendary, because I thought about it in quite depth, and you just can't use it in anything that's not a Zoolock. So, you know, if you buff late game minions, it doesn't really matter. Like, if you buff a 10 health minion to 11, yeah, it could matter, but in most cases it does not. This effect is really powerful when you upgrade the smallest of minions, so when you upgrade like 1-drops and stuff. But if you have a ton of 1-drops, and this is your only 2-drop, you're really only going to be able to pull it off if you have a Warlock hero power as a draw engine, or maybe a few other things. Some people thought like Pirate Warrior or something, or like an aggressive rogue, but it's no 2-cost cards, it's not just minions. And those classes cannot really survive without their 2-drop spells at the very least. So
it certainly feels like Prince Keleseth would need to fit into a very particular deck. And one very particular deck that it might fit into is Quest Hunter, which wants to put so many 1-drops in their deck. Now, will Quest Hunter actually be a good deck? That's dependent on the 1-drops in the set, but also a probably not. But we'll see.
You know, like a Zoo Warlock buffs would be amazing, but I don't know if Zoo Warlock gets away with just a life tap until turn 2 as well. I don't think they do. I think it's gonna be bad. How about hand buff Paladin? You can have like maybe the eggs, and you could buff like everything in your deck. Hand buff Paladin, can hand buff Paladin get away? No, because you play the 2-mana hand buff guy. Like, there's already a hand, like a 2-mana. Like, then you only have the 1-mana buffs, and also like hero powering and turn 2 sucks again. Yeah, I don't think so.
This fits in. I think it fits in an aggressive Paladin deck, and it replaces the Grime Street Outfitters that you probably want to play. There's not a lot of good 2-mana cards that you want to play in an aggressive Paladin deck. You naturally want to have a lot of 1s, and the aggressive, and the way Paladin's mana cost cards land up is 3 mana is actually really crowded. So you tend to have a lot of 1s and 3s and a few 4s, maybe a 5 to close the game. So I think Prince Keleseth actually does have a role in aggressive Paladin, and it's the most likely card out of all the princes to be played.
So it looks like this could be a cool mid-range card in classes like Rogue and Shaman and Paladin in particularly. I think those would make the most sense for this kind of card as far as I see it.
Some parallel universe, Hearthstone was designed with the way princes are very good. So, and there is like, if we thought Purify was bad and it saw play, princes could also see play.
Man, if I go with 2 stars, that would be so memey, right? I'm gonna go with like 1. Because at least you use it in Quest Rogue, maybe? I'm gonna give this 0. Ah, this card is so bad. Okay, pass.
It's not like unplayable. It's obviously a strong card if you can make it work. And the drawback or the requirement for this card is very unique and interesting. And I'm very curious about, yeah, if we get like enough, maybe good strong 1-drops, so we can support this card in a control deck, or yeah, in an aggro deck. This is like obviously not played because of the 2-mana slot is just too important.
This is never going to happen. Your deck will never not have 2-cost cards in it. There's just no way you can make a deck that doesn't have 2s in it. You can't skip out on the minions. Even if you're a priest, or even if you're a class, if you're a priest, if you're a class that doesn't play 2-drops, then it doesn't matter because you've got 2-cost spells. If this was like no 2-cost minions, I can maybe see it seeing play, but just 2-cost spells, no, or 2-cost cards, no way. You will never get this. You will never, ever get this. Your one chance of playing this card is to make a 30-card deck with 29 cards that cost anything other than 2, and hope that this is in your opening hand.
I mean, I think my intuition on this one is that it is absolutely unplayably bad.
So I think that this is, you know, kind of a meme card, kind of a weird card, but an interesting card that could have a home in these weird experiments. I don't think it's going to be a good card. It's not going to be a card that's showing up like tier 1 decks until Life Coach is proven right and Quest Hunter takes over the world.
It will not see any play. All princes are pretty bad, it seems.
It's a very clunky card. It's overall pretty horrible, I think. But again, it could be really good if there are other cards that support it. But they didn't show those off, so we're kind of just left off kind of a little bit puzzled with that one too.
I don't think there's like a high tier deck right now that it would slot into, but there's definitely some decks where you would auto include it and it would be very powerful. It is one of the stronger effects of the princes.
Just based on the turn too, whether or not this is played, like one of the players is gonna have a good time and one is gonna have a bad time. I strongly dislike the design of high roll cards like this, because one player will always like kind of feel bad. I do not like this card. I hope it's no good. I don't think it's any good. So we should be good on that. I'm pretty sure it's terrible. So
it's a card with potential, in my opinion.
I think it has some promise. I don't think it's a terrible card by any means. I think a lot of people are going to say it's terrible. I haven't really read any thoughts or reviews yet. I like to do these things fresh, but I don't actually think it will be.
I think there is opportunities for decks like Zoo that, yeah, there is Direwolf Alpha or Knife Juggler, but they are not as important as the 1-drops. You can maybe fill it off with some additional 1-drops, maybe some more 3-drops. But the only thing is you are really required to draw this card early to really beneficial wealth from it. And I hope that that there can be some more token decks around. It's definitely a card that is great for token decks. You have to require your deck to not play any 2-cost cards, so that might be a hard punish still for also token-based decks to not do that. There might be some classes around. I mean, imagine it, for example, in Rogue. I was thinking of, yeah, like not playing a Fist Raid hurts you a little bit, but that's really it. Maybe Telnos, and then you can already play it. But is it gonna be worth enough for it to get played? We'll see. It has a great potential. There is definitely great upside on the card. Now it's just a big question: can it make up for the downside? I'm a little bit worried, but definitely gonna try out this card.